Are we going to talk about it or are we going to talk about it?
We got to talk about it.
I think the biggest surprise off the bat we have to talk about Shedeur, right? You're talking about Shedeur Sanders, who was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in collegiate football this past season, right? We saw passing, we saw spectacular plays, we saw him extend plays, we saw him throw a Hail Mary to win a game, but somehow he fell all the way to the 5th round in the NFL draft. Not making sense. But what does make sense is that they tried to teach him a little bit of a lesson. Now, when I say they tried to teach him a little bit of a lesson, I'm not necessarily talking about the NFL, but I'm talking about the NFL. And if you know, you know. There's no reason why Shedeur should have failed all the way to the 5th round. Wasn't he a Heisman finalist? Didn't he throw for 4,000 yards in college? Didn't he move up from Jackson State because they said it wasn't competitive enough for him? And then he goes to Colorado along with his father, along with all of the other great players that came over to Colorado, changed the program, and then doubled their win total the next season once he got on offensive line. Now they say he's patting the ball. They say he's not going to be able to make it in the NFL. He doesn't have breakaway speed, and what he was getting away with in college, he won't be able to get away with grown men in the NFL. This is what they say. But I saw a commercial one time, and it says, "Don't worry about they, just do you." And you know who did that? Russell Westbrook. And he went on to be a league MVP in the NBA. Now I know you're saying the NBA is not the NFL, but we're talking about Shedeur Sanders. He only has been doing this his whole life. Maybe it's his father's prime time aura surrounding him with a $1 million chain on draft night. Maybe the NFL owners didn't like it. Maybe they know you're not going to be able to bully him. You're not going to be able to talk him into doing just anything for the sake of, I don't want to say the team, but the sake of just to be doing it because you're saying you're doing it, because I told you to, right? He's not a pushover. Some people want to call it collusion. I can't go that far. That's a lot. That's a big secret to keep in the NFL, all 32 NFL owners, if it's going to be collusion, because these owners, we know they're powerful. We know that they're of different races, and we know that they're selfish. So if they had a chance to do something to ruin a draft stock or ruin a play, I don't think they would do that. Owners are too selfish for that. At the end of the day, they care about the mucho dinero, moolah, aka money. So again, Shedeur should have never failed this far. But again, I think they wanted them to have a humble beginning. I think what that did was just ignite another fire to him. But again, as the Browns told him, you're gonna have to prove it, Shedeur. You're gonna have to go get it. And with the quarterbacks that they have on their roster, don't be surprised if Shedeur Sanders is the day one starter for the Cleveland Browns.
See, I tend to agree that, well, it was the biggest surprise for me because I actually did have him going like top 3 as a pick in the 1st round, right? But I think that I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. There were comments made about teams having to change their ways and change their culture. Now, when we dig into those comments, it makes sense, right? You're a losing team. That's why you're picking so high in the 1st round. You've probably been losing consistently. I do want you to change your losing ways. But see, how you say that to a team is going to indicate if they like you or not. Now, if you're telling them, hey, if you're going to pick me, you got to change the way that y'all operate or don't pick me. A lot of teams are going to be turned off by that and say, we don't want that guy. It's too arrogant in a bad way, right? Now,
I
if you
thought they
tell
were
them,
saying he was
listen,
arrogant.
listen, no,
Oh,
no,
all right,
that
all
was a
right,
little bit of the argument
all right. I'm
that
sorry. I'm
his
sorry for
interviews,
interrupting.
and things were bad.
Yikes! All right.
Now, another side of it could be, hey, just how you word it, right? You can say the exact same thing. Hey, if you're a losing team and you want me, we gonna change your ways. We're gonna be winning now. That losing, all that old stuff, that stops with me. Now teams looking at you a little bit different. Now they looking at, yeah, we want that guy. See, now that arrogance is more so confidence, the way that they look at it. Like he's confident and he's going to be able to come in and affect the team in a positive way. That's just one of the comments I heard and I looked at that could be taken wrong. And when you look at a lot of the reports saying he had terrible interviews, maybe he just kind of rubbed people the wrong way with that confidence, more so leaning on the side of arrogance to them. Now, you also got to look at these teams and look like if this was the second best quarterback in the draft and all of you went around him and got someone else because you didn't like some things he said, you all are terrible franchises, clearly. And that's why, again, to his point now, we can go back to it. You still losing the way that you're losing. You're still making the same mistakes that you make because you do stupid stuff like that. Go get the player that's there. You can coach up stuff like that. Like, hey, media training, all that crap. You can train them on that stuff. But the talents, you're not going to get another quarterback with a better talent, especially coming out of this draft. Now, we don't know how careers could end up, right? Russell Wilson was a late round pick. You referenced him earlier, or he was like a third or fourth round pick. Ended up beating out, I think it was Matt Flynn at the time, big money signing from Green Bay that the Seahawks made. Beat him out to be the starter his rookie year. So it can definitely happen where, like you said, Shedeur could end up being the starter when the season starts. I tend to think that he won't, and probably shouldn't, just because they have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett on the team. I'm just not a fan of starting rookie quarterbacks immediately for whatever reason. Let them sit a little bit, let them get acclimated to the game. But man, it was definitely crazy seeing them drop like that. It's a lot of different things that people saying.
I don't think you're keeping it funky enough.
I think I am. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it very sensible, right? I'm trying to keep it sensible because you got to look at both sides. If you just look at their at the side of Shedeur, right? We all love Shedeur. We love Deion. We love Primetime. We love the fam.
I can't love anybody I haven't met, but I do have from a distance enough respect.
You get what I'm saying. Respect, should I say? We got respect. So some people will take that and get overly emotional with it. And you hear the cries of, oh, it's racism. It's, oh, they just trying to. No, man. No. I mean, one, if you want to really get funky, let's really get funky.
Let's talk about it because.
How many top 10 teams did Shedeur beat? Or ranked teams? Let's just go ranked teams. How many ranked teams did he beat? What's his record against ranked teams?
Good question.
I think he's like 1-8, 1-9.
That's it?
Like that against ranked teams.
That's it?
Yeah. What conferences did he play in? Or was he in big name? Was he in the SEC?
Okay. Okay.
Was he in the Big Ten?
Okay. Okay.
What was the level of competition that he really went against?
Man, this sounds like much of the banter, much of the discord that was talked about with Shedeur Sanders when he was at Jackson State. I mean, and then he moved up. He went to a harder conference. He started playing with the big boys. And
I mean,
he ended up whooping the big boys. And what I'm saying is
that's
and what I'm saying
what
is
you're saying is false.
What I'm
because
saying,
the record shows that against the ranked teams, those are the big boys, the ranked teams. SEC, Big Ten.
Did he not change the program?
Colorado,
yes or no?
Of course.
Okay. Did he not throw for 4,000 yards?
Yes.
Yes or no? Did he not? Did he not bring a different level of veracity to Colorado football? Colorado football wasn't even on the map. You can say that's Deion, but much of that has to go to the players that are on the field playing. Deion is just a coach. His aura is over that organization, but if Deion leaves, what do you have left? What is your foundation? Well, how is this program going to continue to grow? Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, those players transformed the organization and made it possible. Now, if we're keeping it funky, I think it gets no better than the color of our shirts, right? If we're keeping it funky, this is what it comes down to. This is what it comes down to. Now, I don't want to say racism. It's not racism. I don't even want to say collusion. It's not collusion. The young man should have been drafted, right?
Well, he was
He should have been drafted 1 through 3, rounds 1 through 3. There's no reason, right, in the NFL for this young man to have slid all the way to 4th, 5th round, unless the owners, unless people, unless all of this stuff that came out saying, oh, he's a bad interviewer, he's too confident, he's arrogant, he's just like his father. But if he's just like his father, then he's prime time. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. He's prime time.
And I think that's a part of it too, is he's not just like his father.
Hold on now.
That's part of it.
Hold on now. Hey, develop, grow. Then you get there. But I don't know. Have you ever done something?
It's only one prime time, dog. It can only be one.
Have you ever done something in prime time hours? Have you ever got in prime time? Have you ever had to show up and the lights is on you and it's prime time?
I can't say that, dog. I'm not prime time out here. You feel me?
Who doesn't like prime time, cuz?
Everybody loves prime time. It's the best. But listen, that's the thing. It can only be one best. One best. And then you just got the rest. Now, the rest don't necessarily, that don't mean they're bad. I don't mean they're not good. Y'all just the rest, right? So, I don't know. Like we said, we both do believe that Shedeur will be the starter of this team.
He shouldn't have failed. He shouldn't have failed. Just that, I mean, if we're keeping it funky, plain and simple, millions of viewers, millions of Bears fans, football fans NFL around the world know that this young man shouldn't have failed to the 5th round, to the Browns. The Browns were so disrespectful, in my opinion. They took Dillon Gabriel ahead of him.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Right now, on the Browns roster, they have a 40-year-old Joe Flacco. They have a 30-year-old Deshaun Watson. They have a 25 or 27-year-old Dillon Gabriel. And then they have the young buck, Shedeur, coming in at 23. Okay, Kenny Pickett. They got Kenny Pickett. And then they have Shedeur, the young buck on the team, coming in at 23, 25. You want to talk about competitive? You want to talk about QB room that's kind of chaotic already? You know you can't go into the season with 5 quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson might be out the whole rest of this next season with him tearing his Achilles twice. You bring in Joe Flacco to be a mentor, a teacher, and possibly win you some games in an offense that he did very well in previously.
He did.
You bring in Kenny Pickett. He's kind of a journeyman, but he has some spunk to him. He can play some football. But when you say Kenny Pickett, I don't know if you think football. Or maybe you think
he reminds you of all the other failed Browns quarterbacks. Brandon Weedens, the Osweilers, anybody that you can remember or think of and name. That's what he reminds you of. And that's not a good play.
When I heard Kenny Pickett, I thought the Red Rocket, but even Andy Dalton is better than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's disrespectful, dog.
Also, I'm going to say with the last one that they have on their roster after Kenny Pickett, the new kid, Dillon Gabriel, he can play. He can play. He was at Oregon. He was moving and grooving. I saw what he did to Shedeur in that game. I watched it. He was up for Heisman as well, too. Oh, but he fell all the way. So what is it with these quarterbacks that have these great collegiate NFL careers, but yet when it comes to the draft evaluation and it comes time for them to get drafted, their first round picks, but they go all the way to the 5th round? What does it say about the draft evaluators?
I think what it is that you can have good college careers, and we hear the players and coaches and analysts say it all the time. The NFL is a different game. Like, the speed is different. The physicality is different. The way that you have to move and operate in the game is totally different. So it's like you learn the new stuff when you move to that next level. So they can be looking at these quarterbacks and think just all of you guys are not surefire, or in our minds, surefire game changers, franchise changers, right? It's a possibility always. You can find something. You can find you a Brock Purdy in the 7th round, right? Always that possibility.
That's what I'm saying. Most of these quarterbacks who went number 1 before haven't panned out over the last 10 years. There's only been 2 that really panned out. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, different. I mean, we still waiting to see on Caleb Williams. Golf.
Caleb
I mean,
Williams.
there was
We know
time.
Caleb Williams
There
is
was
going to
talk.
pan out.
There was
I didn't
talk
even
for a
have to
time
say that.
about Golf not being the guy.
And Golf, didn't he go to a Super Bowl?
But he went to a Super Bowl. He proved it, right?
Isn't he currently the piece that makes the Detroit Lions offense go?
He did prove it. Like you said, he proved it. But they got to get out there and prove it, right? You got low grades. You got drafted in low rounds. You got to go out and prove it now. I mean, look at a guy like that. Who did they take in the first? Mason Graham. They took in the first round. You could make the argument that, and the results show they just valued him more. They traded back, got a first round pick next year in addition from the Jaguars. They still got a top player that's going to help their defensive line, and they still ended up getting Shedeur. So I mean, it's like we can do all the complaining, like, he should have went first round, and he still got drafted. A team still took a shot. They show, hey, we got a little belief in you to take a chance on even a fifth round pick to bring you into the fold. So now it's up to what he does with that, and if he makes the best of it. It could be a situation like RG3 and Kirk Cousins when they was with the Redskins. They both got drafted, right? RG3 was cold. He was killing it. But then he got hurt. So now Kirk had to come in and be the guy. And now he's the highest paid player in the NFL history. It's crazy. So things could work out great for Shedeur. He could still have a great career in the NFL.
They could.
We can all be upset and all the thoughts and speculation and different reasons why he fell. He still got drafted, and hopefully he still has a good NFL career.
I think they wanted him to get it out the mud. I mean, really, I think they knew he came in. He had all the football acclimate that he needed. He had the aura. He had everything. But I think more so than collusion, this was just a humble beginning for Shedeur Sanders, and NFL owners, NFL teams wanted to make sure that he understands that this is a different league that you're stepping into than college football. I know what you did at college. I know what you think you're going to do on this level, but if you're going to do that, you're going to have to literally earn it. And I think this just adds to the story. This adds to to his merchandise line. I don't want to promote it, but I have to say it. Legendary. I think it adds to that if he pans out to be exactly who he think he is, which is a star or superstar quarterback to be in this NFL. Much to be determined there. But again, Shedeur Sanders should have never slid all the way to the fifth round.